Okay, today we're gonna make a cornucopia horn. So this is what we're making right here. And you're wanting it to look more like an ice cream cone. So this is a little movable. So we want it to look like an ice cream cone versus an Eiffel Tower. So see how it's really narrow right here? We want it to stay a little broader as we go. So to start this, you're gonna take 4 pieces of wire, and you're gonna take 2 of those, so you're gonna divide them 2 and 2, and you're going to bend those 2 in half together and make a little V. And then take the other 2 together, and we're gonna bend them as well. It's not quite even. There we go, it's a little better. Alright, so I'm going to take these 2 and I'm going to bend in towards the center just a hair, right at the base, and this will just help it fit along with the cup. So I'll do that to both sets. This is easier to do when you're holding it up in your hand, but I'm just doing it on the table so you can see a little easier. So please pick it up and work on it. Alright, then I'm going to take my cup and I'm going to take 4 pieces of anchor tape. That are about that long. And I'm going to go ahead and stick them to the side of the table. And I'm going to take my cup and I'm going to take 2 of these wires together and I'm going to tape them on either side of the cup where they stick off the top like this. You may need a friend to help you. And then I'm going to do my other 2 across it, so they're going to make an X. Across it, so they're going to make an X. Like that. Okay, there we go. It's all taped on. Now I'm going to take my jute. Jute is a natural fiber. It's plant-based fiber. So just be careful as you're running your hands down it because it can have the potential of giving a little bitty splinter. So I found both ends. There's both ends. And I'm going to put them together. And now I'm just running the length of my jute to try to find the middle. And there it is. So I get to the middle and I have a little loop. So I'm going to take this loop and my cup and I'm going to slide my jute through the center of both of those, or all 4 of those pieces of wire. So I'm catching all 4 of them at the top. Then I'm going to put my hand through the loop over here and I reach across and I grab this other end of the jute and I'm going to pull it all the way through. And I'm going to tighten it down as tight as I can get it. Alright, so when I get that tight, it naturally will lay one direction. So I'm going to go the direction that it naturally lays. And see, it lays off kind of like this at an angle. Now my jute that's on the top, these both are going to run parallel all the way down, and we're going to weave it while they stay parallel. So this first one, the one that's on top, is going to be the first to go under. So we're going to weave in and out through these 4 legs that we have. So I'm just going to pull that top jute all the way through. Your mom may want you to do this out on the front porch or sitting outside, because this is, you're going to have hairs everywhere if you're doing this at home. Okay, so that one went under. Now this one, my one on bottom, is now, as I rotate it, it's now going to go under the next leg. And you're just going to alternate it back and forth. So one of your strings of jute is going to go under each leg every time. Alright, so I get to the next one, and I've got this one on the bottom and that one on top, so my top one is going to go under again. Okay, so there it is. Now I rotate it again. Now my bottom one goes under. Alright, they're still running parallel. I move over again. Now my top one goes under. Now I rotate it again. Now my bottom one goes under. And then you just keep going around and around, alternating which one goes under every time you do this. Now I will tell you, when I'm standing up, I usually tend to take this cup and I will hold it in my arm, kind of like this, and just kind of tuck it under my arm, kind of like I'm carrying a football. And that just holds the cup out of the way. And you can see right there how they start to alternate. So I'm flipping it again, or turning it again. My top one now is my one to go under. And if your green wire starts to show, just slide your ropes up a little bit and it will cover them, I promise. Alright, and then you just keep going until you get about here. So that's going to be about from the tip of your finger to your second knuckle, like that. When you get about that far, then you're going to spread apart the wires down here. So let me show you how to do that real quick. You're going to take the tape off of one set, leave one wire here. So I typically leave because I'm right-handed, everything goes right. So I leave the wire on the left there, and I'm moving the other wire over to where it's halfway in between. And I'm just going to separate out all 4 of these wires until I have 8 of them. And once I have 8 of them, then I'm just gonna keep going and keep weaving it all the way down. So there's one. Untape it, leave the one on the left, move this one about halfway over between these two. Then I'll tape it. And this just makes sure that they're really evenly spread apart, because you want a really symmetrical, pretty weave. So I'll spread this one over there. There we go. And then you just keep weaving in and out, except now you go out in and out of 8 of them instead of 4. And you keep going until you run out of jute, and then I'll show you what to do for that in just a minute. Alright, to finish the cornucopia, you're going to take it and tie your 2 ends of your strings together in a knot. Pull it pretty tight, and then I'm going to remove it from my cup. Now I will tell you, I did this one a little bit short so I could go ahead and show you how to do it. So you're not gonna have quite as much wire down here at the bottom. But you take each of these wires and you fold them straight into the center, like a bobby pin, and that's going to hold all of your ropes and your jute together where it's supposed to be. Then you can take a pair of scissors and cut this extra jute really tight up against that knot, and then it will just disappear into your cornucopia. Then you take it and you're going to shape it into kind of the cornucopia horn. So here's your example. There's a cornucopia horn, and this is on its side. And then you can take any extra little jute pieces that you have, and we're going to tie 3 knots. And then you're going to cut out these knots. And you're going to put them in a triangle formation, and you're going to glue them to the underside of your cornucopia. So here's an example. So here's the cornucopia on its side, and then here's the bottom. So you're going to do 2 knots at the top, at the opening, and then 1 knot back here. And that's for them to balance on. So if you have any hot glue, go ahead and glue those. If you don't, it'll still probably be okay. And then now